Good day and welcome to another episode of What's Happening Today, presented to you by Rapido News Network. In our first story, we will discuss the oil company from Saudi Arabia named Saudi Aramco, which became the world's most valuable company, dethroning Apple from this position. Then we will talk in short on the Bitcoin prices, which dropped below record levels as crypto sell-off continues. We will also discuss Coinbase's earnings, which were below estimates. Post that, we will talk about Tesla's stock slide that raises doubts about Elon Musk's Twitter purchase. Next, we will talk about the fact that the two-thirds of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck as inflation continues to rise. And in our final story, we will talk about the Russian Ukrainian conflict. So let's get started. In our first story, Saudi Aramco on Wednesday dethroned Apple as the world's most valuable company as surging oil prices drove up share at the time when tech stocks are in free fall. The Saudi Arabian National Petroleum and Natural Gas Company, billed as the largest oil producing company in the world, was valued at $2.42 trillion based on the price of its share at the close of the market. Apple, meanwhile, has seen its share price drop over the past month and was valued at $2.37 trillion when official trading session ended on Wednesday. The sinking share price came despite Apple reporting better than expected profit in the first 3 months of this year amid heavy consumer demand. But Apple warned that the China COVID-19 lockdowns and ongoing supply chain woes would dent June quarter results by $4 to $8 billion. Now in our next story, Bitcoin dropped below $27,000 level as the recent sell-off in the cryptocurrency space continues. The price of Bitcoin was last down 8.76% at around $26,800 as of 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, according to the data from the Coin Metrics. Ethereum fell more than 13% to $1,800 during the same times. Cryptocurrencies fell with stock after the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that consumer price for the month of April jumped 8.3%, which was slightly higher than expected by economists polled by Dow Jones. Now, this announcement probably spooked investors, leading them to exit risky assets, including crypto. Cryptocurrencies remain highly correlated with the S&P 500 and more recently the Nasdaq Composite. Now talking about cryptos, Coinbase earnings were bad this quarter. Worse still, the crypto exchange is now warning that bankruptcy could wipe out user funds. Hidden away in Coinbase Global's disappointing first quarter earning report, in which the US's largest cryptocurrency exchange reported a quarterly loss of around $430 million and a 19% drop in monthly users, is an update on the risk of using Coinbase's services. That may come as a surprise to its millions of users. In the event the crypto exchange goes bankrupt, Coinbase says its users might lose all the cryptocurrencies stored in their account too. Now in our next story, Tesla's stock slide raised doubt about Elon Musk's Twitter purchase. Elon Musk's bold plan to buy Twitter depends partly on how his investment in Tesla is doing. Now, shares of Tesla have plummeted about 20% since Musk first disclosed plans to buy all of Twitter and take it private. That's a key reason why Twitter stock is now more than 10% below Musk's proposed $54.20 a share purchase price. Twitter stock is hovering around $47.50. That's only about a bit above the $46.76 midpoint between Musk's takeover price and $39.31, the price at which Twitter shares were trading when Musk first disclosed that he had taken more than 9% stake in the company early last month. Now, this seems to suggest that investors have doubt about whether Musk will get the deal done at the original price, despite the fact that he recently lined up more than $7 billion in a financing from an impressive group of investors that include mutual fund powerhouse Fidelity, venture capital giant Sequoia, and Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison. Now in our next story, 2/3 of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck as inflation continues to climb. Rising prices are putting household budgets in a vise, said Greg McBride, chief financial analyst at bankrate.com. He also added that price increases are widespread. But look at the food and shelter, which together account for more than 40% of the weighing of the cost price index, and in some cases even more than that for many households. Now, food prices are up at the fastest pace in more than 41 years, and the shelter index, which makes up about 1/3 of the CPI weighting, was up 5.1% on a yearly basis, its fastest since March 1991. While wage growth is high by historical standard, it isn't keeping up with the increased cost of living. When wage rise at a price lower than inflation, those paychecks won't go as far as the grocery store and at the gas pump, the two areas of the budget that has been particularly squeezed. Now in our final story on the Russian Ukrainian conflict, global economic woes worsen as war drags on inflation rates have soared to the highest levels in decades, sparking fears of a prolonged economic crisis. Analysts have warned that President Putin is hoping that support for Ukraine will wilt under economic pressure. The Ukraine war's economic toll is testing the West's unity against Russia. The West united against Russia's war on Ukraine more swiftly and solidly than anyone had expected. But as the war settles into a prolonged conflict, one that could rumble on for months or even years, it is testing the resolve of Western countries, with European and American officials questioning whether the rising economic toll will erode the solidarity over time. But for now, the common people across the world are paying the price of West versus the Russia. Now that was all for the major news update for May 12th. Stay tuned for our next update on the ongoing world affairs. We hope that you find this video useful. If you like this video, hit like. And for a continued update on what's happening around the world, consider subscribing. To never miss an update whenever we post something new, hit that bell icon. If you have any comments or any suggestions for us, please let us know in the comment sections below. Thank you.